Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's lesson plan. Well, do you remember Stephen King's Cujo? Okay, take out the St. Bernard and replace it with a killer whale. Oh, and also eliminate the demon that was living in the clothes closet. Yeah, now you might have kind of where tonight's lesson plan is going. Trouble already, right? The opening scene sets up Maddie as a real tragic figure. You see, her fiance is killed right in front of her eyes after he heroically tries to save her life from a would be robber. Jump ahead 1 year, and now Maddie is set on an adventure that involves a killer whale whom she also loves. Now, talk about your twisted love triangles. This one will fill it up, right? This movie is chock full of really cheesy special effects and very silly girl stories. Cinematic class is about to begin. Your professor is it? Greetings, salutations, and other sundry affairs. I am your cinematic professor and purveyor of truth in movies. And tonight's lesson plan is a movie called Killer Whale. That's original, isn't it? It comes from the folks at Strike Media and is currently available on most streaming platforms. Okay, I alluded to this in the beginning, so let's flesh out this script just a little bit better. You see, Maddie works at a park that's kind of like SeaWorld. Okay, she works with the killer whales, but because it's a smaller park, she also has to work in the gift shop and the beverage and food shop as well. Okay, so she's doing double duty. Well, she decides to take an extra shift. You see, she was supposed to be off this one night, but needed the money and decides to take an extra shift in the beverage and food shop. Okay, so she's working, and that's when the store goes underneath a robbery. Guy looking for some easy cash and money. This guy's kind of a rude robber. He's not polite at all, but her boyfriend is with her, and when the robber grabs Maddie's prized necklace, the one the boyfriend gave her, rips it off her neck and tries to run away with it, well, the boyfriend has to spring into action. And he does. And he foils the heist, gets the necklace back, and hands it to Maddie. It looks like this is going to be a happy night. But the robber is really pissed. So he comes back in a car and mows down the boyfriend. And this leaves Maddie very, very sad. Now we jump ahead 1 year in the proceedings. Okay. And now Maddie is having some problems because the outfit she's working for seems to be mistreating her favorite killer whale. Ah, her girlfriend comes along and says, with all of this depression around her, they need a girl's little vacation. They need to get away. And boom, they head off to the shore. And while there, they find that the killer whale who has been mistreated also happens to be there as well. How did the whale get there? Well, Maddie seems to suspect that possibly management at the sea park are responsible for this. But, this subplot is tapped upon very lightly and then it's forgotten. Big mistake. Had this subplot been fleshed out more and all this girly estrogen crap that comes later been forgotten, you might have had a little bit better story here. So now we find Maddie in conflict not with a deranged robber, but a deranged killer whale.
Josh, come on!
May your beer always be cold, boys be hot. Come hell or high water.
It's you and me.
No matter what, bitch. This is Josh. He has a surprise.
Trust me, you're gonna love it. This is amazing.
It's a great hangover cure.
What the hell was that?
I don't know. I'm gonna check on the engine.
How the hell did a whale get in here? It just doesn't make any sense. We have to get off this rock.
1, 2, 3.
Orcas have never killed a human in the wild.
That place is a dump. That whale, 20 years alone in that tank.
Oh my god.
You dumped her in here.
Maddie! She thinks she's still trapped in captivity. And now we're trapped in here with her.
We're gonna be there for each other. And we are going to get through this.
Why is she doing this to us?
Say, we'll take a look both in front and behind the camera right after this important message.
If you ever have the opportunity to visit Italy, you'll notice many fine customs. And one of the customs among the men is that they save Saturdays for shaving. Okay? So during the week, these guys will all be kind of scruffy, all right? And then on Saturday, they go to the barber and they get a nice professional shave. Well, Sam has done a really nice job in incorporating that custom at the House of Firuza Barber Shop. It's located at the corner of Drake Road and South Park Road. And right now, if you book a Saturday haircut, you can receive half off of any and all shaving services. Now, if you have yourself a nice beard, that'll include a nice trim up, little beard oil and make it look good and what have you. If you're clean shaven, you can get a nice straight razor shave along with your haircut. This is a really good deal. Half off of all shaving services on Saturday only when you call for a haircut. Give them a buzz at 835-2860. You can style and profile.
Okay, let's take a look in front of the camera, shall we? Virginia Gardner plays Maddie. Mel Jarnson plays Trish. This is her best friend who is trying to get her out of the doldrums, especially after a year of, kind of being morbid and pining away. And Mitch Hope comes along. He plays Josh. He's kind of like the beach surfer dude who they discover, and Josh is hoping that he can score with one, maybe two of the girls, and he finds himself battling a killer whale. Alrighty, kids, with this movie, it's when we go behind the camera that we run into a lot of problems. Director for this movie was Joanne Breachin. Wow. I have preached ad nauseum that female directors do not make good directors of horror films. This movie really proves it. I mean, let's face it, you didn't really have to worry about a monster in this thing. You really didn't have to worry about a whole lot of special effects. You had a killer whale, okay? We'll get more on that a little bit later. Joanne also wrote this, but she didn't do it alone. She had some help from Catherine McPhee. Now we have two ladies putting this thing together, and okay, here's where we have a problem. After I had seen and screened this movie, it just so happened the following night was what I like to call bro night, when I get together with all me mates, and we head on down to the bar for a few libations and munchies. And I said to them, okay, I'm going to put you in a situation. Don't add anything to the equation. Just listen and tell me what you're going to do. You and your friend are stranded on a rock in the middle of an ocean lagoon, and there's a killer whale circling you. The killer whale is hungry and is looking to make a snack of you. What do you do? What's your first instinct? Without a fail, everybody I was with, and we were legion, says first thing, defense. Second thing, survival. Try to figure out how we can survive this situation. Now, see, to me, that makes sense. Not only does it make sense, it would have made a hell of a lot better movie. But that's not what these girls do. Okay? When these girls find themselves trapped on a little rock in a lagoon, circled by a killer whale who means to make human sushi out of them, they begin talking about emotions. And they begin talking about their feelings, what they feel for each other, how much of a good friend they have been to each other, what they have done for each other, what they could possibly do. Oh my God, when these girls start talking, the whale circling, and you're like, what the hell is going on? That's what happens here. Now, let me backtrack a little bit and say that Joanne, naturally grabbed a lot of women to work with her on this film. These women-led films are really, they're getting almost Christopher Nolan in, in their scope. She hired Angela Little as a composer, and probably the musical score for Killer Whale is the best thing it has going for it. Okay, so we'll tip our hat and say kudos to Angela. The cinematographer was Sing Thun Chong. Okay, boy, other than shooting the girls on this rock, she hasn't had to do an awful lot. You see, every time we see the killer whale, well, let's say 90% of the time when we see the killer whale, it's stock footage. Okay? There's nothing here. I mean, there's no real animatronics or some kind of there's not even like fake puppets or something. It's all stock footage that's cut to make it look like something is happening when you could easily tell that it's not. And part of that is the fault of editor Ahmad Halabi. He does point of view cut action. And in doing that, you can have, for example, the girls on a rock, a little bit blurry in the background, and stock footage of a whale coming toward them. And you can tell it's stock footage because the whale that you see, the killer whale, is different than the whale that's used in one has a straight fin, one has a bent fin. It just doesn't work. Okay, so in conclusion, Killer Whale is really a waste of time. It truly, truly is. Everything was filmed down in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. And as I said in the previous segment, where you would normally have a sense of panic, that's replaced by mushiness. And where you would think you would need a sense of survival, that's replaced by tales of sisterly love. I'll give you an idea how stupid this movie is. The two girls are on a rock that fits them rather comfortably. I mean, they spend one night there, so they're able to lay down and sleep and spend the night on this big rock. When they decide to make their move, they move to a smaller rock. Yeah, the smaller rock, which admittedly is a little closer to shore, can really only hold one person. Nobody can lay down, and the two people kind of have to cling to each other to stay to the rock. Does this make any sense to you at all? Of course not. It makes the women look awfully damn stupid, wouldn't you say? Yeah, it does. All right. The land down under fails on this one. This is definitely for the celluloid trash heap. And while we're speaking of trash heap, let me explain to you why this movie kind of went viral over in Australia and New Zealand. Okay. They had a trailer that they released for the movie. And the trailer is what went viral. You see, they put in a scene or two that showed the killer whale making an attack and the water becoming bloody. Well, the producers and of course Joanne and her cachet of feministas decided that that was a little bit too morbid and it was too gruesome. So what they did was they took the red out of the trailer and they colored it brown instead. You know what that looked like? Uh-huh. And that's why the trailer went viral. And that's probably the best part of the movie, the joke. Now that you have learned what you have learned, here, Ren.